Hello, good evening, and welcome to the webinar. So, if you can hear me, just type yes in the chat so that you can hear me properly. So first of all, I would like all of you to thank you for joining our webinar. And without any further delay, let's start the webinar. So, first of all, my name is Prakash Omar, and today I'm going to take a few minutes of you before starting the webinar to explain you about the ground rules of the webinar. So the first round rule is you all will be on mute mode and you will be unmuted for the question and answer round. In case you have any query, you can ask in the chat window and we will try to answer that. This session will be recorded and you can access the recording on our YouTube channel and watch the recording afterward. So let's move to the next slide and let's see what we have. So let me tell you first thing about our company. So we are DevOps University. So DevOps University is a certified, recognized institution for the DevOps training. We design DevOps certification program and concepts to provide the IT experience and IT engineer for their upskillment in the DevOps University. So we have presence across all over the continents, and our trainers are very industry leaders and executives that help you to train yourself. So we are currently have an on-spot offer that is going on our DevOps certified professional program. So you can see that the actual cost of the program is around $575, but we are offering it at $295. But on the webinar, we are running a special program so that we are excusing giving a 10% extra off on it so that the final cost comes to be $269, $266. This offer is valid only for the webinar participants. Okay, so our next batch is going to start on April 18 and that will end on 14 May. These are the weekend courses so that every course will be the classes will be held on the weekends only so that you don't get to disturb on the weekdays so that your work don't be get affected. So here are the some of the testimonials from our students that have done our program. So as you can see that. So today we are also giving a free download tutorial for the program. So we are sharing the link over the chat window. So we get the full tutorial download for the PDF and this participation certificate will also be given. So I will share the link over the chat window and you can access through it. So without any further delay, let's hand it over to trainer Anuj, and Anuj can share your screen. Anuj, can you hear me?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, Anuj, we can hear you.
Perfect, fantastic. Sharing up my screen. I hope everyone is able to see my screen. Can I get a quick thumbs up from everyone?
Yes, Anuj, we are able to see your screen.
Fantastic. Great. So welcome everyone to today's webinar. We regularly conduct these webinars on different topics, and today's topic is about CI/CD implementation with Ansible. So we will be looking forward for a series of tools integration today, and we will be going through and understanding that how we can go and we can utilize these tools, and we are definitely going to have an understanding there. So that's pretty much what we are going to talk about, and we are going to see those kind of an options here. So let's see like how it really goes, and what's the understanding here. Now, before even going up with the Jenkins integrations and all that stuff, first of all, let's talk about the configuration management tool. I hope that some of you guys are aware of this category of tool, but this tool is very important from a DevOps perspective. Even if your organizations, because see, DevOps is not something which is available in the industry from a very long period of time. Just couple of years back only, DevOps is like something which is really got popular, and before that people were not using DevOps standards to that extent. But with the recent time, with the the growth in the cloud, with more and more servers coming up, there is a huge demand of configuration management tool in the past 3 4 years. Because this, if I talk about the configuration management tool, so these tools are basically available in the industry from 2006 to 2007, and from there the organizations were using the configuration management tool to that extent. And DevOps really came in quite late after that. And it's not like people from the day one was using this tool in the industries. Now configuration management tool is something which is a great component available there. Now, if I talk about 10 years back or 15 years back, at that time, organizations were having like one physical servers, two physical servers, at max three, four physical servers. They were like having a practice of, giant, big servers. And on top of that, they were going and having the applications deployed. So they were like following that kind of a model or that kind of an architecture. But with the recent times, with the, shift in new things, now we are getting new technologies, new standards. People are looking forward for a different concepts. So they see like how the basic setups are really going to be implemented, and we can take care of that consideration here. So people are using that kind of an like an implementations, using which they can go and they can see those attributes here. So that's pretty much what we are going to perform here right now. Now, why exactly configuration management tool is utilized there? See, there are different reasons to that. So I have also worked in a era when we were like not having any configuration management tool, and we were like pretty much using or doing the things in a very manual approach, right? So that's something like we were pretty much doing and performing there. But things have changed. Like you can see in front of you that the situation before configuration management tool and things after the configuration management tool. So getting the servers managed manually is going to be very difficult. Let's say if there is an organization which is having like 100 servers, or 200 servers, or uh, uh, we have different machines available there. You have application servers, database servers, web servers. Nowadays there is a huge amount of, because nowadays AWS cloud, Azure cloud, people are like having the cloud accounts. So very easily they can go and they can have a number of infrastructures created. So there is a lot of possibilities which is available at this moment of time in the industry. So situation is quite streamlined. You have the configuration management tool where you can manage multiple servers. There is no manual efforts required. You don't have to log into each and every server and do the steps, right? So no one have to do that kind of an approach here. So things are very, very good and very streamlined here. And definitely we don't have to follow that kind of an like an aspect or that kind of a mechanism here. So this is something which is definitely going to be taken care in that particular aspect. Another problem, like you can see here, that when it comes, like for example, nowadays there is an era of auto scaling. Like people are going up and they are going for the scaling, scale up, scale down, and that kind of an approach. You might have seen like the cloud or non-cloud solutions. We are pretty much getting a lot of implementations, and a lot of scaling approaches are there. Now these scaling approaches which we are talking about, so we are pretty much trying to see that how these scaling mechanisms really works. Even if let's say you have an auto scaling, like an automatic scaling mechanism, so what happens that with the help of configuration management tool, you will be able to maintain, or you will be able to like work handle the new things. You can see here in the diagram in the top. So if you're doing any kind of a scaling, let's say earlier you have three servers, now you got three more servers, then you have to do the manual activities on top of that, which is going to be very difficult. And sometimes we feel that okay, we just got these servers for 1 day or 2 day, and again we have to put up a lot of efforts on there. So we can definitely see like how we can improvise, and we can fix that kind of an issue there. And if I talk about the like an after situation here, so whatever the new infrastructure we are coming over here, so it's going to be easily managed with the configuration management tool, so no manual efforts are required here. So configuration management tools are really helping us to easily manage. Like you want to install Tomcat Apache on 100 servers, practically manually it's not possible. It will take like 2-3 months for you to do that. But if you have a configuration management tool, within 10 to 15 minutes, you will be able to set up the Tomcat Apache on all the different servers there. So that kind of an automation is what configuration management does. And no one is saying that you are using this, you are going to use it for the package installations or software installations and those kind of and stuff. You are also going to use it up for a different components, like maybe for a code deployments, because initially when the configuration management tool was launched, it was only taking care of the configurations, not the code deployments and all. Only after DevOps people saw an opportunity that when we have 50 servers and we really wanted to do the code deployment, so why not use the configuration management tool for that, and bring in that kind of an flexibility. So that's how they getting like they get started working on that, and we got that kind of an flexibility here. So this is the kind of advantage which comes in. So you scale up the infrastructure, no issues. Configuration management tool is going to handle that. Code deployments time is also reduced a lot. Like if you are literally taking like 1 or 2 days to get the codes deployed, the configuration management tool is also going to help you to, because as part of our demo also, we will see like how the integration works between the Jenkins and Ansible. So those integrations we can definitely do, and we can see like how we can go for that kind of an setup here. So a pure integration is also something we can go, and we can do it up with the help of configuration management tool here. Right. So any kind of a rollback, any kind of an upgrade activity. So again, in relationship to the code deployment, so we can definitely do, and we can perform that. And in case of manual, of course, rollbacks, deploy, everything is going to be manual. So again, it's very difficult for you to handle and manage those different things as such here. So these are some of the different things which is really available there, and it really causes the trouble that how the things are going to work. So that's pretty much the aspect here. Right, and the coding aspect, definitely I will show you the how we can go and we can perform the deployment, and we can take care of those stuff here. So how a playbook file looks like, how the execution works. So all that stuff we will be touch basing here. There are different tools available there. So it's not like Ansible is the first tool available in the market, but certainly it's the most popular tool available in there. We also have Puppet, Chef, Salt Stack available there. Salt Stack did not got that much popularity, but yes, Puppet and Chef is a very popular tool. Puppet was launched in 2006, Chef was launched in 2009, and Ansible was launched in 2012. So it's almost like three years differences there. But the moment Ansible got launched, everyone stopped using Puppet and Chef. I have myself done a lot of migration activities where we have converted or migrated the like in kind of from the one configuration management tool to another configuration management tool. So pretty much Ansible is the most popular configuration management tool at this moment of time. People are using it, and they are referring it for that particular aspect here. So it's going to be considered as one of the best tool available there, and there are multiple reasons for that as compared to the other configuration management tools. So I will be explaining you that what are the different regions due to which we consider that it's one of the best configuration management tools available there. Now, when you work with the Ansible or the configuration management tool, there is a very important terminology called as infrastructure as a code. I mean, Ansible is a perfect example of that. So what is the infrastructure as code? So infrastructure as a code is a process in which you are going to manage the environment. The same thing like system configurations, software configurations, all that stuff you're going to really go and manage it up over here, and not only to one environment or one server, to multiple environment and multiple servers over here. So that kind of an automation is what we are trying to do, and we are trying to achieve here, so that we can see how that kind of an setup is really going to be working here. So infrastructure as a code is something which is really going to help us in that aspect, and we can maintain those things here. Can see here, I mean, it can be like any kind of an configuration there. It can be Chef, it can be Puppet, it can be Ansible. So I'll show you the Ansible architecture also in the upcoming slides. But this is how it's pretty much, going to manage there. So in the code, you will be defining that how the configurations we are going to manage. If you wanted to do a Tomcat Apache installation, if you wanted to do a kind of a code deployment. So all those instructions you're going to put up in the scripts in the code, and then using those scripts you're going to deploy it up onto the destination servers, whatever the different servers are there, whatever the different machines are there. We are pretty much going up and getting the code deployed as such there. So that's the kind of an attributes which we are going to manage here. So these are some of the aspects which really helps us to see how the implementations are really going to be working here. These are just ones. Yes. Now, let's try to understand that why Ansible. First of all, it's an open source tool, freely used. We also have an Ansible Tower tool, which is a paid one, but it's free of cost available there. You wanted to manage 100 servers, 200 servers, 500 servers, 1000 servers, you will be able to manage with the help of the Ansible. So Ansible is a purely open source tool available there. There is no limit on how many servers you are really trying to manage here. Then it's like agentless, right? So if we talk about agentless here, so agentless, how exactly that difference is there? See, what happens is if I talk about the other configuration management tools uh, you can say Chef or Puppet. So in that you have to install an agent on the remote machine to manage that server. But here it's not like that. We don't require any kind of an agent over here. And certainly there is no management required or needed here. It's highly flexible, and any number of servers we can go and we can manage. Large number of servers are managed through these tools. There are a lot of modules, a lot of integrations which is available there. So custom modules are also available, but there are a lot of settings which is available within the Ansible in the form of Ansible modules. Close to 2 to 3 thousand modules are there. Using the Ansible, you can create the virtual machines, you can do some environment setups, a lot of things you can do. It's very, very flexible, and we can change it up as per our requirements. Rollbacks you can perform, you can easily go and you can perform the rollbacks here. It's very simple and human readable and self-documenting. So these are some of the benefits and advantages which we will be able to get from a particular Ansible tool here. And due to these different benefits, we can consider that Ansible is one of the best tool which is available, as in from a configuration management tool perspective. and we can go and we can maintain those things as such. So these are some of the best practices which is going to be followed here. So all these benefits is the reason why we use it. Plus, on top of that, these are like YAML based. Like when we will be going for the Ansible detailed discussion or detailed course. So in that we will see that the like I'll show you that playbook files also. So these YAML files are very simple, straightforward, and you don't have to put much efforts in understanding and learning those YAML topics here. So I'll show you like how this YAML file really looks like. And this is the architecture. So you have an inventory in which you put up like where exactly you wanted to reach out, you wanted to deploy the things. You have the playbook file, so which is going to be the script in which you put up all the instruction, what needs to be done, what needs to be performed. An Ansible workstation, Ansible server. You can say a kind of a master slave architecture. So Ansible workstation is there, which is going to connect to the remote machine, and through the SSH connection, it's going to deploy the code base here. So very simple. It uses integrated SSH connectivity, and without any concerns and issues, we will be able to establish that kind of a connection here. So this is the kind of an integration which we are going to perform, and we are going to do here. So that's the kind of an aspect which is really available here. All right. So this is the Ansible architecture which is really available there. Now, as far as the CI/CD pipeline is considered, so I will show you like how it happens. How we can go and we can integrate those stuff, and we can get it up resolved here. So I have a code repository which I'm going to share it up with everyone here. So I have a source code here. Please bookmark this link with you. Now there are two things. One is the flow is going to be like, for example, as per this diagram. You're going to like as a developer, you're going to commit your changes in the version control system. You're going to have the source code stored over there. The complete source code is going to be available over there. And what you're going to do is that Ansible. This diagram is all about Red Hat, because Ansible is owned by Red Hat. So if you want, you can go for a particular enterprise or paid license also. Like that is also something which is possible. So you can once your build is done, once your test cases execution is done, so after that Ansible can pitch in, and using the Ansible you can deploy it up to any environment, whether it's a dev environment, test environment, or production environment. One more advantage you get with Ansible is, for example, I'm also using Ansible in my organization when I'm wanted to do a kind of a Windows environment deployment, right? So I have close to 50-60 servers, right, available there, different environments, different things. In production, I have close to 20-25 servers. Now, physically, if I wanted to install the Windows application on multiple servers, it's very difficult. Maybe if I wanted to do a little bit automation, I will write some deployment scripts on the servers, but still I have to log in to invoke those deployment scripts and run it up there. But if I talk about Ansible, right? Now, if I write up some scripts, like in case of Ansible, script name is called as Ansible Playbook. If I write up the Ansible Playbook, now that same will work in the dev environment, test environment, and in the production environment also. So there is no problem as such. There is no issues also as such over there. And very easily we will be able to go and have a particular code deployment done as such on those part there. So that's the kind of a flexibility we will be able to get with this kind of an components here. All right. So this is the way that how the implementations are really going to be done, and we can take care of those considerations. All right, perfect. So let's see how exactly this implementation works. Now, I have a Ansible playbook file here, which I'm going to open it up separately. I have a Jenkins file here. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to so basically what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to like I have a pipeline over here. I will share the pipeline with everyone. So in this pipeline, there are some series of steps which is really available there. So at a high level of like step, what I'm trying to do is that I'm going to first check out the code base. So code checkout stage is available there. After that, I'm going for the Maven build, right? So Maven build is what we are pretty much going and we are performing here. Uh, this is also going to run my or execute my test cases. So I'm just publishing my test cases reports, right? So publishing test reports are there. Now, in this case, what I'm doing is that, see, Ansible, you can do anything, right, of your choice if you wanted to do it here. Now, in this one, what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to deploy my particular code base over here. So I'm pretty much trying to deploy a Docker container on a server. Like that's how I'm trying to achieve over here with the help of these scripts here. So that's the approach. Now, what we are going to do is that we are going to like see that how the Docker image is going to be built out, and then it's going to be deployed using the Ansible on a remote machine. So that's kind of an implementation which is really going to be conducted here. So here I'm going for a Docker image build, right? So Docker image build is what we are trying to conduct here. We are uploading the Docker image to the kind of an like Docker Hub, right? So that's pretty much what we are trying to do. And it's publishing the Docker image to Docker Hub. And ultimately what's happening is that we will be able to like perform, we will be able to do the deployment execution here. So Ansible playbook file is what we are going to run it up here. So this is a playbook file which is available there. We have to really go and put this file and then only it's like really going to work here. So right now here the playbook file name is, I have a wrong playbook file. So right. So this is the playbook file which we will be like firing up and we will be running over here in this case. So that's pretty much what we are trying to do here. This one. Right. Now this is something which is equivalent to the command Ansible like this. It's equivalent to that. But again, we are using the Jenkins pipeline, so that's fine. So we can use that kind of an option that Ansible playbook file is what we are trying to do it up here. So that's the kind of a setup available there. So again, I'm repeating that it's like going up and checking out the code base, like the source code is going to be checked out over here. And we will be like looking forward for the source code build. Then we will be going for the a kind of an test cases publish. The Docker image build we are going to do and uploading the Docker image to the Docker Hub. And then ultimately the playbook execution, that's what we are going to do here. And one more thing. I'm just sharing, I'm going to share this one with everyone because using this, you guys will be able to download my like the my repository here. because I'm using have it up as a kind of a public repo. So if any one of you guys also wanted to test it out, so you will be able to do that particular stuff here. So I'm just sharing it up in the chat window. So let's see if it really works. And using the particular Ansible, we should be able to have a Docker container created here. So let's create a new Jenkins job. Now, as far as the pipeline is considered, see, this is my pipeline here. Now, this is how the pipeline really looks like a kind of a basic skeleton. So you just provide that what exactly the purpose of this playbook file here. So we are trying to connect it up on the AC2 instances. So we are configuring that aspect. So whatever the different servers you wanted to deploy, you can provide that. So all servers you wanted to go and you wanted to implement. So you can see here that we are pretty much like running some commands. So this is basically known as the modules. Like for example, command module we are using. So task is the session where we are trying to provide at what kind of a task and activity we do. So command is a generic module which we are using over here, and using this module we are defining like how we are installing the Docker executables, Docker software we're installing, and then we are taking care of the container deployment. So all that kind of and stuff is what we are trying to really perform over here in this case. So you can see like some Docker run, like Docker commands we are running, we are executing here. So that kind of and stuff is really available here. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to deploy it up over here to a different machines, like to a different servers. That's what I'm trying to do it here. So that's a kind of an implementation which is really going to be considered here. Now it's up to me. When I say hosts all, right? So how many servers we are like trying to reach out or we are trying to set up, that's completely up to us, that how many servers is there. So it can be like 50 servers, it can be like 100 servers, it can be like 200 servers. So we can do that kind of in changes. But here I will modify this host. I don't want to run, I don't have 20, 30 servers. I just wanted to deploy it up to the local host through the local server. So I will just go ahead and change it up to the local host too in order to run this one. But yes, we can using this configuration, we can reach out to multiple servers wherever we wish, like we wanted to control and we wanted to do that kind of a setup here. So that's what we are going to execute, and we can take care of those stuff here. I don't want to go for all servers. I just wanted to go for local host. That's it. Just local host is the one way we wanted to go and have that setup conducted here, and that's the kind of an approach which is really going to be done, and it's going to be performed here. So this is the kind of an attributes available here. So let's see how it goes, and we can take care of those considerations or those kind of an automation. So that's what we are going to perform here. So pipeline is what I'm going to create. So it's going to be like taking care of the compilations, test cases, code deployment, everything is going to be done into a single shot here. So end-to-end implementation is what we are going to perform, and we are going to conduct here. I have to give a access to this file. So the Docker image is getting uploaded to the Docker Hub, and at last it will be deployed from Ansible. One second. Okay, so if I talk about my playbook file here, so oh, okay, yes. So it's pretty much trying to install Docker there. So these instructions are like something which is like really failing over here. But I don't have to worry about that because I already have the Docker installation done there. So um, I can just because this is not a kind of an environment setup playbook file. So it's basically a code deployment playbook file. So Docker is definitely going to be available there because I'm doing like maybe I can have a separate playbook file in which I'm going for the Jenkins installation or the Docker, Maven, all these different executables installations are like something which I can do it up there. But as of now, I'm strictly following the code deployment. So when I'm following the code deployments here, so I have to specify and put the instructions only related to the Docker container deployment here. So you can see the Docker run command here, using which we can see like how the code base is really going to be deployed, and we can definitely see that kind of an aspect here. So this is something which is going to take care of the code deployment things here. So just the code deployment thing is what we are going to perform here. So Docker run command is what we are going to follow here. So the mistake I was trying to do is that I was trying to do the setup also with the same playbook file, but it's not going to work because right now I'm just taking care of a CI/CD pipeline. So uh, uh, I don't have to like necessarily go and put this instructions related to the code deployments because when you're going for the core deployment, you're not like really going to do any kind of an installation of Docker and all that stuff. So you may have a separate playbook file for setting up that environment, whatever the production environments are there. So you can run a separate playbook file for that. But this core deployment is like only going to have an instructions related to the Docker container deployment, so that only that steps are there. So I don't want to touch or like do anything or any kind of modifications onto my remote machines here. Okay, one more change I have to do. I don't want to run it up with a root ID because Jenkins pipelines gets executed with Jenkins ID. So we don't want to have that kind of a root access because I'm not doing any kind of an like package installations or software installations. I'm just taking care of the code deploys here. That's all what I'm trying to do here. See, and you can validate it also. The container is really deployed over here in this one. Right? So if you see the pipeline view over here, like a kind of an syntax, like a stage view over here, so you will be able to see like a lot of steps is like really executed there. And the good thing is that using Ansible, you can go and you can deploy it up onto a different machines. Right now, I have shown you like a kind of a Docker thing, but you can easily like if you're not using Docker, like the organizations may be using Kubernetes and all, so you can easily go and integrate Kubernetes within your Ansible playbook file. So it will start working according to that. So whatever the way like you feel like you wanted to drive it or you want to, like move it up, you can definitely do that particular stuff here. Right, so this is the way that how the CI/CD implements, and you can extend it up to different level. Like you can look for the vulnerabilities, small snark-cube integrations, Kubernetes. The more and more complex you can like you want, you can keep it up your infrastructure, and more and more components will be start coming up over here. So that's the pretty much way that how this whole CI/CD workflow really works here. Right, so that's pretty much what we have like a planned demo over here. But I think now it's the time. If anyone wants to ask the questions, feel free to like go ahead with that. I'm going to I don't have an access to allow your microphones, but
Yeah, Anuj, participant microphones are already allowed. Sorry to interrupt.
oh, I'm so sorry. Yep. Yep. So guys, I think we can, go ahead with the Q&A session here now, and we'll see like let's see like what kind of a doubts and questions you really have.
So guys, you can unmute yourself and ask any questions. Yeah, Marco, please go ahead.
Marco, we are not able to hear you. Anyone else having any doubts or questions?
So considering your silence as no, so I think we don't have any question answer. Thank you, Anuj, for the wonderful session again, and we can wrap up the session, I think.
Yeah, Marco is having the question. I think we can like I can wait for another 5-6 minutes, no issues. But yes, if anyone else having any kind of a doubts and questions, so feel free.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, Marco, go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry, I was having problems with the microphone. So, given the current um, setup configuration where you were having this Spring Boot application, you were connected with
Mm-hmm.
Jenkins and using Docker containers, everything based on an I just didn't follow. Is the EC2 instance that you were trying to create, um,
Yeah.
that is going to be holding all the applications, right? So one of the questions
Yes.
I have, mhm, I'm a software automation engineer,
Mhm.
and one of the questions that I have is like, what would be your recommendation on the quality side? So you would like to have a separate Ansible configuration, a different structure to run the test. I'm talking about unit testing, integration testing, and of course UI testing, which is going to be more mostly covered with Selenium or any other UI platform. What would be your recommendation on that?
See, definitely. The thing is that, if I talk about from an kind of a test automation perspective, so I mean, very few projects I have seen where we would go and we would run the test cases over there, because testing framework, majority of the testing frameworks have their own way that how to run the test cases on different platforms, like different systems. You can go and you can put it up there. So Ansible, you should not be using it up for there for that part. But again, see, Ansible is a very generic tool, and to any extent, we can go and we can utilize it. So, it's totally fine.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Anish. And again, it was a really great presentation. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Good day. Bye.
Bye.